It is time for the Eastern Conference. We obviously did the Western Conference yesterday. I wasn't sure particularly if I was going to get to the East today, but it turns out that I have a bit of extra time. So I thought, why not just knock off the Eastern Conference at the same time? Basically, if you didn't catch yesterday's video, what I did was I had a ladder predictor, like I will show you in a moment, where I basically put the 15 teams in the Western Conference, and I basically told you who I thought was going to be number 1 through who I thought was going to be number 15. So I'm basically going to do the same thing today for the Eastern Conference. For any of you Eastern Conference team lovers, obviously for me, I think the Eastern Conference isn't as stacked this year as it was the West with yesterday, because the Eastern Conference is blown wide open. There's been a lot of trades where the Eastern Conference has been moved. A lot of big players have gone west, and just things of that nature, where the Eastern Conference has just lost how strong it is. Injuries play a big part in that as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into it. Rightio, so this is it. It's literally the same thing as I did yesterday, just it's 15 teams from the Eastern Conference as opposed to the 15 teams from the Western Conference. I basically just select every single team, starts at number 1, goes down to number 15. Little side note, if you can hear any banging of hammers or anything, there's some works being done on the house at the moment, so there's a bit of construction going on. But I'm not letting that stop me from making extra content, so if it's a little annoying, I apologize, but I'm just trying to project my voice as much as I humanly can, just so that my voice hopefully overtakes the noise of that. So without further ado, we're going to go 1 through 15. I think number 1 is going to be Cleveland. Cleveland is the best team in the Eastern Conference right now, I believe. Like, they are going to be the best regular season team. Pretty much like they were a year ago, because a year ago they were all but the best team in the regular season. So I expect them to do more of the same again, especially with their youth sort of developing. They're a lot like the OKC Thunder in a case, where their youth is still developing, but their youth is so good that they are a really good basketball team. So I believe for that reason, Cleveland goes first. Second for me is New York. New York has made a couple of small moves over this offseason, which I believe makes them that much better than they were a year ago. They brought in Gershon Yabusele. They brought in Jordan Clarkson, which Jordan Clarkson I think is going to be the difference for New York this season. Jordan Clarkson, I feel, has probably been waiting to play meaningful basketball for the last 10 years of his career. Like, the entirety of Jordan Clarkson's career, he has not really played much meaningful basketball. And I think he's really going to flourish now that he will be doing that. So for that reason, I've got New York going second, along with, you know what you're getting on New York at the moment. Mikal just signed a new deal. Jalen Brunson's not going anywhere. Karl Anthony Towns, other than his shot IQ at times, we know what we're getting from Karl Anthony Towns. And just all those guys all brought together, I believe are actually going to make a hell of a difference when it comes to like playoff time and whatnot. Third on the list, this is where it goes up in the air for me. Because there's a lot of teams that feel like they're at half strength compared to last year. There's a lot of teams that have made moves, have gotten better, have gotten worse. And it feels like every team that I look at here, they look like they're about the same when it comes to strength and like how good they are as a basketball team. I see Detroit. I really see Detroit basketball being really good this year. I'm not too sure what the go is with Malik Beasley as of yet. I'm pretty sure he is still on the roster. But he will, if he is on that team, he will, I believe, have a similar season that he had to last year, where he was shooting the ball at a ridiculously high clip. Obviously, he just got beat out by Anthony Edwards on the last day of the season for that 3-point crown. But he's going to come back and continue to impact Detroit. Cade Cunningham's going to get better. Jalen Duren, I believe, is a hell of a big man. And I believe they've made a couple of smaller moves over the offseason, which is going to make them better. And with the East being so wide open at the moment, as I said, I think Detroit, I see a world where they sort of sneak into good placement this season. After Detroit, you go the Giannis, Milwaukee goes in, and then Philadelphia. I just have so many question marks about Philadelphia, and that's what drives me so insane. Because the roster that they have, they should theoretically have a lot more than a 5th seed. But I just don't trust any of their roster enough to do so. Paul George is prone to injuries, barely played last year. Joel Embiid, I mean, you don't even need to talk about Joel Embiid when it comes to injuries because he's as bad as Anthony Davis at the end of the day. And for that reason, I can only put Philadelphia 5th. 6th place, Miami, I guess. Actually, Orlando goes over Miami. Miami stays stuck in the play-in. Only reason I say that is that because Miami is missing Tyler Hero for an extended amount of time, and that is going to hurt their record overall. With Tyler Hero missing so much time, I think it is really going to negatively affect their record. So for that reason, I think they go number 7. Indiana go 8. Obviously, they're missing Tyrese, and they've just lost Miles Turner. So I don't feel like Indiana's going to have as good of a run as they did last year. Just because they're missing those key guys, and it's really actually going to hurt them. It feels weird for me putting Atlanta in number 9. Because as I said on one of my previous videos, Atlanta actually starting to look like a better basketball team. But 9th is about the highest that I feel I can put them. Because Orlando has just obtained Desmond Bane. He's going to make them a better roster. Miami have been consistently mediocre for so long that I think they're probably going to be sort of up there. Actually, Miami might go down. I think that looks better. I think Miami really didn't make enough moves in this offseason to the point where I can justify them being in that 7th spot. So I think moving them down looks pretty good. Toronto really have not done a lot over the offseason. Chicago are the same. I haven't even put Boston in yet. Boston, I completely forgot Boston were a basketball team, to be completely honest. Boston go above Miami. Boston probably go above Atlanta. They go above Indiana. I'm going to say Boston's making the play-in this season. Because Jason Tatum's going to miss a lot of time. They obviously only got Anthony Simons really in that trade deadline. They lost Al Horford in the last couple of days. They lost Kristaps. And they lost Drew Holiday. So their team is going to look drastically different this year. And Boston in a play-in this season feels right. Obviously, they're only probably going to be there for one season. And they're going to come back to full strength next year. But for this season, I feel like depending on the progress of Jason Tatum and his injury, 7th feels right for now. The last 5 teams, I mean, these last 5 teams have been sort of meh for a really long time. I'm not going to really waste any time with it because I'm going to go Chicago, Toronto, Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr. is probably going to average 20 a game. It really says enough about what Brooklyn is going to be this season. And Charlotte, Washington. Washington do not have a decent basketball player in their entire roster. It's realistically, they had Jordan Poole. If you want to argue Kyle Kuzma was a half-decent basketball player, they've lost him as well. They've got old man Chris Middleton on their roster. And I don't feel like Chris Middleton, in the grand scheme of things, is really going to be doing a lot. So I think for that reason, they go 15. Charlotte at 14 feels alright. I feel like Charlotte are just stuck between a rock and a hard place at the moment. They really just can't find enough consistency as a basketball team, especially with LaMelo Ball at the helm. They haven't just been able to pull it together with LaMelo as their star guy. And I don't think it's going to happen again this season. Brooklyn, as I said, it's just going to be a Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. shootout. They're basically just going to get on the court and shoot a bunch of jump shots, not play any defense, and it's just going to show off. It's going to be a fun team to watch, don't get me wrong. I probably am going to watch some Brooklyn basketball this season. but it's going to be hard to watch when it comes to sort of the business end of the year. Obviously, the East is wide open. There is one of these bottom three teams that I can have a fair case for if you wanted to put them in a play-in role. Or even Boston could probably go higher. Indiana could go, Atlanta could even go higher. It's just a really wide open conference at the moment. I think it's the difference between the West and the East is that the West is hard to pick because there are so many good teams. And the East is hard to pick because there's so many teams that are like, I look at all of them and I feel like they're the same outfit. They look like they're going to be doing the same role, doing the same sort of stuff, and they're going to end up like this. But I think this looks good for the most part. Obviously, if you guys feel different about any of my picks today, let me know in the comments below. It's a hard conference to pick because, as I said, every team just feels like they are in sort of a halfway between sort of state. Other than the top two teams. Cleveland and New York, I think, in terms of conference record this season, is going to run away with it. It is going to be a two-legged race between the two sides. So, for that reason, they're up top, and the rest of the conference, I think, is open up as much as any conference has been in a long time. But yeah, that's basically all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. The support I've got over the last 24 hours especially has been awesome. And I can't thank you guys enough for everything that I'm getting. I've even had some comments talking about telling me to keep going and the effort and stuff like that. And I love hearing that so much. Like, it actually powers me to do this stuff. Like, I didn't know whether I was going to make a video today. And for reasons like that is the reason that I'm actually here. So, thank you guys so much. If you want to continue the support, it'd be greatly appreciated. The subscribing, the liking, just all that sort of stuff. If you could get down there, that'd be great. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in a couple of days. I got some stuff going on for the next couple of days, so I probably won't be in front of the camera. Other than maybe a YouTube short or something like that. We'll see what happens, but no long-term videos for a couple of days, and then I'll be back with probably more prediction videos as we get closer and closer to the year. Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Thank you guys, and I will see you I'll see you then. Bye-bye.